Guys, welcome back to RBR and say hello to the now V8 powered new Bentayga Speed. This is set to be, despite not having the W12, the most powerful, the fastest and the loudest, most dynamic Bentayga that they have ever made. Now, as I said, the previous one was the W12, which was a beautiful engine. But as we know, that engine saw its swan song in the epic Batur. And now Bentley are moving towards their Beyond 100 strategy. And soon, in fact, they're even going to introduce their first ever EV, which is said to be an urban SUV, smaller than the Bentayga. But before that happens, they're not abandoning their core base in their best-selling car. And that is why this Bentayga is a pure V8 that stands to be the most dynamic one, as I said, that they've ever made. And heck, it's even got an Akrapovic exhaust system. Let's find out what they've done under the skin in this beautiful satin green car and what new options you can get on this car now. So today's episode of RBR is once again sponsored by NordVPN. Now, a lot of phones and devices have inbuilt VPNs now, but the control that Nord has always given us, like choosing your region, which for me has been brilliant because when I've been abroad and I want to access my UK Crunchyroll or Netflix library or watch history, then it's easy to do. And it gives me peace of mind when using public Wi-Fi's, protecting my data, my cards, etc., etc. So it's great as a VPN. But one product these guys have done recently that has been game-changing for things other than VPN is this thing called threat protection. Now, this is something you can turn on without turning on the VPN. And what Nord essentially wanted to do was make your internet browsing experience like it used to be back in the good old days when you didn't have these horrible websites with malicious ads you can't get rid of, and these websites that would track you and make a profile about you. Tell me if this hasn't happened to you. Like, I was searching for coffee machines, and for the next 20 days, all you see everywhere is coffee machine ads. And it's really annoying. Threat protection puts an end to all of that. It puts an end to the profiling. It gets rid of the malicious malware on these websites. Heck, it will even scan files you download for you to make sure they are safe for extra peace of mind. It's also really easy to turn on. Let me show you how to do it. It's within the NordVPN app itself. All you do, you go into the app. You don't need to turn on the VPN if you don't want to. You hit this shield button here, and then you've got threat protection, knock it on, and that is it. It can be turned on independently of your VPN. So there you go, so easy. And then you've got a much more peaceful internet browsing experience. And if you turn on the VPN, even better, because you've got that much more protection. Now, of course, as an RBR viewer, I've got you a great deal. Use the link below and go to NordVPN/RBR. And on a 2-year plan, you'll get 4 months extra free. And for peace of mind, you got Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee as well. So well worth trying it. So that's NordVPN.com/RBR. And you'll just have a more peaceful browsing experience. Guys, a huge thanks to you guys for always supporting our amazing regular sponsors. Now, let's get back to the car. So guys, our previous car, W12, massively impressive still in terms of performance. We have 635 PS, 900 Newton meters of torque and a 0 to 60 of 3.9 seconds, topping out at 190 miles per hour in that wonderful, characterful Bentley W12. Now, just because this car has come down to V8 doesn't mean that it's any less powerful. In fact, it's even more powerful. 650 PS in this one, slightly less torque at 850 Newton meters, but a massively improved 0 to 60 of 3.4 seconds, thanks to the fact that this is the first ever Bentayga to actually have launch control built in. How and what option to get, I'll explain to you that in a moment. It still has that typical Bentley torque plateau, so your torque is between 250 and 4,500 RPM, so it will still feel as a Bentley should, which is great. However, this is also the most dynamic one that they've ever done as well. Interestingly to me, we have our Continental Speed, which has taken a totally different direction, hasn't it? It's bringing more of that Beyond 100 flavor thanks to the hybrid system, you know, topping out over 780 PS. It's an insane thing with the hybrid attached to the V8. Interestingly though, Bentayga hasn't done that. It's a pure V8, so basically standing to be the lightest Bentayga that they've ever done as well. And pretty much the most driver-focused one too. Will we miss the hybrid or not versus the Continental Speed? It's too early to say, we'd have to drive it. But it's definitely a purer driver's choice. We can say that certainly from the outset. And the reason for that is it's the most dynamic Bentayga ever, thanks to a few new tweaks that they've done in here. Now this car, 15% stiffer in terms of its suspension versus the previous one. And it's thanks to a new sport chassis mode that's been built into this that also allows a new ESC dynamic mode. What does this mode do? Two really cool things. It's throttle on demand sliding essentially. So you'll be able to drift this Bentayga, which is something we never really, I think, thought about previously with this ilk of car. And then the launch control, which then gives it that fantastic 3.4 second figure. But the great thing is that the comfort setting itself, unchanged versus the other Bentayga. So you have that duality that I think you really do expect of a Bentley of this level. And then finally, all-wheel steering comes as standard as well. And make sure that you spec the carbon ceramics, because then you get that ESC dynamic option and you get to have the lovely new 23-inch wheels. Now let's talk about the new specifications available. And to begin with, how can we not talk about the best one? And that is the optional Akrapovic exhaust system. Right guys, have a listen to this. How brilliant does that sound? That's the optional Akrapovic exhaust system. And you can see you're not going to be missing that W12 with this exhaust. So guys, in terms of design, first, this is a beautiful new color in a tourmaline green satin, which looks absolutely epic with then the darked out trims. So you've got this dark tint bright wear that goes around all of the trims, which really gives now this new Speed a really aggressive and more sporty look, which is good because now this is the most dynamic one ever. Our rear tail lights also darkened and tinted, and when you head around to the front, more of the same. You'll notice a darkened and tinted front headlight that looks really quite nice. So that dark tint element now standard across. Something you won't see from this angle, however, is another new option you have, which is right there, our Speed black roof, available in either satin like this or a gloss finish, going all the way up to our tailgate at the back, which again looks great. This is just such a gorgeous color, isn't it? And then your eye is drawn to the biggest wheels that we've ever had on Bentayga, and these are the new 23-inch wheels, which you get when you get the carbon ceramic brakes. And speaking of the carbon ceramics, 7 new shades available, including this beautiful new green shade here. So you can really now customize the Speed to your own liking, which is great, because I think the type of product this is, you want it to be individual. Of course, you still have the beautiful Speed badging everywhere, nice tinted dark chrome, including on the sills as you come in, and of course the lovely holographic Bentley entry logo. The rear tailgate spoiler never ceases to look absolutely epic, and that is a good looking car. Now, one of the best things about the new Speed are these, and of course we have the optional Akrapovic exhaust system. What's nice is though, it doesn't have any logos anywhere. It's, you know, a bit more traditional, as a Bentley should be. So I'm really happy to see that that is restrained and looking like I expect a Bentayga too. Heading inside, as you would expect, an absolutely gorgeous Bentley interior. Now we have a new type of interior trim in here, which is a Speed color split, where you can see we have our highlighted green details across the grey leather. This will allow you to customize the look of the Speed a bit more to your own liking. Of course, Bentley, so well known for just how far you can go in terms of individualization, and that hasn't changed here. We've got this precision quilt that again you only get in the Speed in terms of the stitching, which again looking great. And of course the Speed having its own unique driver's own display as well, which is great. It's good to note also that carbon fiber, as you see here, is now also standard fit option on this, which it was not previously. So the interior, exactly as special as you'd want a Speed to be. So guys, that's your new Bentayga Speed. The fastest, the most powerful Bentayga ever. And it's so weird because we're going towards this beyond 100 strategy, going towards electrification, yet our newest, most powerful Bentayga is not a hybrid, it's just a pure V8, and the most driver-focused Bentayga that we've ever had. Can't wait to drive it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of RBR. I'll see you guys next time.